A radio operator, along with his equipment, was classified as an outstation. The radio's whereabouts had to be kept totally secret. This was achieved by sitting most of the radios in underground hideouts. The radio used by the Special Duties Organisation was purpose-built to be basic in design and simple to use. The radio sets measured approximately 15 inches long, 6 inches high and 5 inches wide. They worked on the then rarely used frequency between 60 and 65 megacycles. That was probably not even monitored by the Germans. A 6-volt car battery was used to power the radio set. This needed a 40-foot long aerial to able to transmit its messages. Had the Germans landed, the radio operators would have carried on with their normal occupations, only visiting their outstations to transmit short reports of information. These outstations operators would all be transmitting to their local control stations, of which Sussex had 3. The purpose of a control station was to relay information gained from the various outstations back to headquarters at Hannington Hall. A control station was operated by 3 specially trained women of the ATS auxiliary unit, each station having 2 transmitters and 2 receivers. One set was for everyday use while the whole radio network was in training, the other to be used in the event of an invasion. The training set was often housed in a surface building. The other set would have been close by in an underground hideout known as a zero station, so called because when the station's code name was used, it was always followed by the code suffix 0. There were no transmitting schedules for the outstation operators to keep, so the women would have to listen for messages coming in for long stretches of time. The purpose of a zero station was to receive coded information from the many outstations in the surrounding area, passing on the details via direct phone line to the Special Duties headquarters at Hannington Hall. The Hollingbourne Zero Station is identical in design to other examples still accessible in Sussex and Hampshire, the only variant being the length of the emergency exit tunnel. The women operatives of these zero stations were members of the ATS, with Beatrice Temple as their senior commander. Miss Temple would often visit the underground sites around the country to check that the women were all right and generally monitor how the system was working. The Royal Corps of Signals were in charge of checking and maintaining the radio equipment. Built on a solid concrete base with corrugated iron arched across to form its roof, the hideout resembles, like many of the sabotage patrol hideouts, an underground Nissen hut. Entrance was gained by lifting a concealed earth-covered wooden trapdoor. With the trapdoor open, a wooden ladder led down to the entrance shaft, which opened out into a small room containing explosives and ammunition. This room was made to appear as if it was the only one, giving no indication of the main chamber behind one of its walls, containing all the radio equipment. A system of shelves and carefully stacked boxes hid the 5-foot-high door leading to its main chamber. When a secret catch was lifted, a section of the shelving moved out of the way, allowing the door to be opened. Along with the radio equipment, the main chamber contained a small table with chairs, bunk beds, spare batteries, with a generator recharged them with a good supply of food. The batteries were then used for powering the radio equipment and a simple lighting arrangement. The other end of the main chamber led into a small room which contained a chemical toilet, a drain in the floor, storage space and entrance to the emergency exit tunnel. The 3 feet wide emergency exit tunnel was 16 feet long and terminated by opening out into a square concrete structure that had an earth-covered wooden hatch above it, concealing its existence. Fresh air was supplied into the hideout by two 1-foot diameter asbestos pipes. One was positioned just off the floor and the other just below the roof. They ran along the main chamber through the small end room until coming into the surface, disguised as the holes of a badger set.